450. Scott into the cover. We got a new. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Let me in.
Hey, this is Toxic Reign Scandal featuring TBK, the Turnbuckle King. Got another good one for you guys today. We'll talk about can Swerve change the wrestling industry. We will have a main focus on Swerve Strickland, the brand new AEW World Champion, making history at the AEW Dynasty event, become the first Black AEW World Champion of all time. So let's talk about we hit the locker room. Now, you know, it's good to see that Swerve is the brand new AEW champion, as many thought that he should have been a while back and knew it was coming, especially me. Swerve fan definitely over with the fans of whose house, and it's definitely Swerve's house. Let's see who came to the locker room before we begin. Carl Myers, salute. Welcome to the locker room. Thanks for coming in, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But definitely gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. Definitely talk about it. But I'm very happy that Swerve is the brand new AEW World Champion, because many thought that he should been world champion for quite some time. Some of us thought it was sooner than later, or some thought it will happen much later down the line. But I'm glad to see that he is the champion. Definitely glad to see that has happened. I can't stress that enough. But I want to talk about a little bit about his career and talk about what he did before he got to AEW. So definitely we'll discuss that. So give me 1 second. We'll get to that just a second. Okay, we're going to talk about, first he was known as Isaiah Swerve Strickland, and this is when he was in NXT. If you guys remember that, Swerve Strickland was in NXT. He led the whole stable, which we know as Hit Row, which is B-Fab, Hit Dollar, and other cat. Other than that, he went on to become the NXT North American Champion, and he won that championship by defeating Bronson Reed. Definitely won a defeat by Bronson Reed, becoming the brand new NXT North American Champion. And he did it back in 2021 when he defeated him for the title.
Scott at the 450. Scott into the cover. We got a new North American champion.
So yes, that's when Isaiah Swerve Scott at the time became the brand new NXT North American Champion. Now, however, I know he didn't really defend the title that much as NXT North American Champion. I know during the midst of that, he defeated Bronson. He defended once, then he went on to lose to Carmelo Hayes. And I know whole Hit Row got drafted to SmackDown. And then they had budget cuts, and unfortunately, B-Fab was one of the first to be released. But unfortunately, he ended up getting released too, and he got released in 2021 due to budget cuts. So I know that was a big blow to Swerve. I know there was much more that he wanted to do in the WWE. as he was definitely climbing up the ranks, especially when we thought he could have been, the NXT champion there as well. But other than that, he didn't let that stop him. Despite being released, he did go on to venture on other things. He did go on to, become to, do other things such as going to New Japan. I believe he did independent circuit that he still does. I know 2022 he did New Japan. Then next thing we know, he came on and debuted in AEW. He debuted in AEW back in 2022. So when he did debut, he had a tag team with Keith Lee. He was tag team champions, and lo and behold, he's now the AEW champion. Congratulations to Swerve, by the way. That's definitely a big thing. I'm glad he won the title. I'm glad he did what he had to do. So congratulations to him. And with that being said, he definitely has a "you deserve it" because he put in a lot of hard work. And despite being released from WWE, he did his thing. And he deserves it. He definitely deserves being AEW World Champion. Like I said, he won that championship by defeating the previous champion Samoa Joe at AEW Dynasty, and he pinned a 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. Boom, that's it. He's the brand new champion. So definitely got to give salute for him. So I like to congratulate him on that again. Glad he won the championship. Much well deserved. So glad he won that title. Just I have some concerns with that, him winning that championship. So, however, definitely got some concerns. What can be done in order to get him to win that title. He won the title, but we still can't ignore that it's an issue. See who else came in. DDE, salute to you. Thanks for coming out. And Carl, as you can see, I got you a wrench, man. You're putting in all the support. And DDE, I think I just added you on as a wrench as well. Should come up. I think you guys are supporting the Toxic Ring Scandal. We are here at the locker room. Like and subscribe as you come in. I'm also on X. Woke up for the first 15 minutes. And after the 15 minutes, we'll say our goodbyes to X. If you want to catch more of this stream, come on to Toxic Ring Scandal, aka KDH, on YouTube. With that being said, like I said, I'm happy that he won a championship, and he did it well-deserved fashion. Despite Swerve being a heel, he won the title clean and middle of the ring. No cheating, no interference, just pure talent. Whose house? Brand new champion. Now, the thing about it is, I got a couple issues regarding this title win. Swerve didn't just win, and he didn't just win the main world championship on AEW Dynasty, but he did win the championship for the first of his descent, African American ever to win it. Normally in professional sports, and I'm not just talking about wrestling, normally when you do have someone like that win a championship like that, normally it's at a big stage. Now, for WWE example, you have a WrestleMania, for like Kofi Kingston did back in 2019. That's one example. Another example, you had Booker T winning at Bash at the Beach in WCW days. And, it's a big moment. In AEW, their big moment, their big stage is All In, Double or Nothing. All In would be their biggest one. But Swerve did not win that title at a big AEW event. Yes, it was a pay-per-view event, but it was a brand new pay-per-view event. AEW Dynasty, a debut of it, meaning there's no history behind it. I know they want to create history with him winning it, but the facts are the facts. And he did win it, like I said, at AEW Dynasty. But let's be honest here, and for people that follow AEW know what I'm talking about. This was not a big stage. This was the first ever pay-per-view. And think about it is when he won that championship at AEW Dynasty, we gotta look at the facts again. He won the championship at Dynasty, a brand new pay-per-view, and it was also, we all forget, it was just 2 weeks removed from WrestleMania 40. Not just any WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania ever, where Cody Rhodes won the undisputed WWE Championship for Roman Reigns at night 2. Big crowd with The Rock in that WrestleMania. The whole tag team between Roman and The Rock versus Cody and Seth Rollins. Biggest tag team match ever in WrestleMania history. And this has gone down with Cody and Roman as the biggest WrestleMania match in history. And we all know, who did watch WrestleMania, saw the crowd, saw everyone come out to the ring, celebrate Cody. One of the biggest wins, not in WrestleMania history, but in WWE history. And you do this event 2 weeks after that, when everyone's still riding high, still in the awe of Cody winning that championship. And I think Swerve was overshadowed. I'm not talking about race here. I'm talking about how the booking goes. Whether he's black, whether he's white, whether he's Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be. But I think this was booked poorly. And if you want him to make history in your first ever black champion, you did it at a pay-per-view that has not proved itself yet as far as any prestige. No history, no type of backbone. You pretty much throw him out there hoping it will work. You took a big gamble on him and that pay-per-view, which is Dynasty. Like I said, let's also, not just state that it was a brand new pay-per-view 2 weeks removed from WrestleMania. It was only 6,000 people that purchased these tickets for this event. Like I said, many factors play into this. Now, we could talk about not just WrestleMania, we could talk about the, people still got the NBA playoffs going on, the college basketball a few weeks prior. I get that too, but this is very low. And you had Swerve in the main event competed for the AEW World Championship against the previous champion, Samoa Joe, in which he did win. So I don't think that was good marketing and good booking by Tony Khan on his end. It was a fail, to say the least, a big fail, big time fail. So I don't like that at all. So that's my big problem with that. But other than that, of course, I'm happy he won a championship. But thing about it is, if you're gonna have him win a championship, have him win it in definitely, style. Have him win it in definitely fashion. Professional fashion and good style. And I felt like when he won it this way, I honestly did feel like a Michael Cole moment.
Not this way! Not this way! Damn it!
So I felt like maybe Swerve could have won it at a bigger event. It could have waited till Double or Nothing, which is next month. Could have, competed, had a storyline. He could have got, screwed at the title at Dynasty. Maybe it was interference. He could have had one last final chance at AEW Double or Nothing, which is one of the more premier events for AEW. After all, that would be perfect. Not only that, that's mostly in Vegas, and that's the inaugural pay-per-view, which is history, as I said a few minutes ago, with AEW, having a pay-per-view there, and that would be a good way for him to win it. As Dynasty had no history, but AEW Double or Nothing does. It has history behind it. We know that that's the bigger event to win it compared to AEW Dynasty, which has no history, in this case. So with that being said, I thought he should have won it there. 6,000, that is very low. And that's just a bad way to book a first time ever black champion, or any champion for that matter. So, I did not like that at all. So I was not a fan of that. Definitely not a fan of that at all. I thought that could have been done a lot better. I thought that Swerve deserved more as far as booking goes, because he's over like crazy. He got Christiana dancing. He got the Who's House. He's similar to Trick Williams in NXT as far as being over. And I thought it could have been done a lot better in that case. A lot better. So that's my pushback on that. I thought that should have been handled a lot better. It could have been booked a lot better. If you're going to book him right. And he just was not booked right as far as that goes. A lot more could have been done in favor of Swerve if you're going to make him your brand new champion. Because I believe MJF, he was full gear. And CM Punk, John Moxley, those guys had very, very big stages that they won a title on. And it was also just done better as a whole. There's no other way around that. I don't think any other champion AEW, regardless of race, even if they were previous black champions, they wasn't booked in this manner where it's a small stage. Because when it comes down to it, people are going to forget that Swerve even won this belt like that because it was at a small event. It was a very, very small event. So I thought if you're going to go out right, have him do it in stylish fashion. Have it do it, very way where people can remember him. Like, hey, I remember Swerve won it All In. Hey, I remember Swerve won a Double or Nothing. Or even Revolution. Something of that sort. Definitely. Roll me one, Kenobi. What's up, man? Salute. Thanks for coming to the locker room. But yeah, I was not a fan of how this was done. I was not a fan of how this was done at all. Now, my other thing that really gave me an issue, that Swerve, if you guys didn't know, he didn't even get a celebration speech at AEW Dynamite. And they're going to say they're going to wait, until Collision. That's when he's going to get his first interview as AEW World Champion. They're going to wait all the way to Collision, which is 6 days later after him winning the World Championship at AEW Dynasty. Now, I read the reports. I've been looking online. They say the reason that they waited to Collision for Swerve to get, have his speech, his interview as the brand new AEW champion. It says due to the NBA playoffs, and since I think the Celtics are Heat are playing, whatever the case may be, I don't watch basketball no more. It's trash, let's be honest. We in pro wrestling here. Since that's on TNT, the same network, they also said that having him doing a celebration and interview on Collision would draw a bigger audience. And despite all of that, that may sound good to some people. We at the locker room, and that just does not cut it. And with that being said, I think it's all lies. Meaning it's cap.
That's cap. Totally cap.
That's cap. So no, that's not true. Yeah, so it's just ridiculous. What you say, Romy One? Romy One says, I don't like all these after celebrations. You don't see UFC champions doing that BS. Well, UFC, that's a whole different scenario. That's more mixed martial artists. We're talking about pro wrestling wise. I mean, if you want to get to sports, Romy One, if you look at NBA, NFL, I know it's a team sport, but I'm saying anyway, you got NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. They have a celebration, whether it's the World Series, Stanley Cup, Super Bowl, or NBA Finals. So I just thought it could have been marketed better. And I said, regardless of race, if Swerve was right, I'll be saying the same thing. Because Swerve ain't just the color, he's talented in the ring. We can't deny that. Yes, Romy One, I said it's a team effort. I already said it was a team effort. Before I made my statement, I already stated that because I knew you would say that. But I'm saying, if you look, people do If you want to talk about individual sports, golf and tennis do the same thing. Now, those are individual sports. Don't they get a celebration? Serena Williams with tennis, don't she get a celebration? Tiger Woods with golf. Now, those are individual sports. What do you got to say now about that, Romy One? What's your comment now? Because you know I'm right. You just don't want to admit it. Just go to ring, do your thing. We all know the man's to face. Now we want differences. This ain't about we know he doing his thing. I'm saying be marketed as a champion. Pro wrestling's about marketing. I'm saying, we got to do that. Nameless said black people was on everything. No, black people's not on everything. If you look at the channel, Nameless, you don't even talk about black people every stream. So what you saying has no meaning in this cap.
That's cap. Totally cap.
That's cap. What you saying? I do not talk about black this, black that every show. So get that out of here. Get that nonsense out of here, man. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I think he should have got a proper celebration, regardless of what his race is. And I said that earlier too. Listen, you guys gotta listen. Don't get in touch with your feelings. Listen. And I thought, to make history, because they made a big deal of him being the first black champion, he should have got it. Think about it. When Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship, didn't he get a celebration? He got that. I know Bobby Lashley, he was a heel that's different. I know Swerve is a heel that's different. But we want to, acknowledge the fact he's a brand new champion. Acknowledge it. So, let's get the cake out. You damn right. Man, you want celebration, get some splits and play some tunes. No, it's bigger than that, Romy One. I just want him to be acknowledged as a champion and something they can remember, because it'd be little stuff like this at Dynasty, these small little events where he's not advertised and he does not get the proper remembrance as the champion, regardless of what the race is. That's all I'm saying regarding that. And I think this whole collision, and the NBA ratings, I think that's cap. I don't think that's why. I think Tony Khan, I think it's nonsense, because Tony Khan don't have any other. He's running out of things to do. If you guys watch AEW, come on. He's pulling the Vince McMahon approach. He's getting beat up now on TV, and he's an on-screen character now, which he said he would not do. And now he's doing everything he was against originally. Now, another reason I say that, he should have been, on Dynamite to have a celebration as the AEW champion. Let's be honest, Dynamite is the premier show. Also, Dynamite, for their ratings haven't been the best. They've been pulling 800,000, but with their talents, if they have talent, they should be close to. It could have helped. I think if Swerve did this on Dynamite's their Collision, he probably could have pulled close to 1 million views. Close to 1 million views regarding him winning the championship and being your brand new champion. So that's my thing on that. Now, I know also that, and I'm not the only one that feel this way. Let's be honest. I'm not the only one that feel this way as far as the booking, despite what his race is. There are others out here in the wrestling world said that Swerve should have been booked better as champion. If you're going to market him, it ain't just it's not just marketing, just be marketing him. It's to make the company better. Let's be honest. AEW, their rates have not been great at all. It's been lackluster to say the least. So let's be real. Romy once said, "Isn't the night when you win a celebration with the pyro?" I mean, it ain't just the pyro only. I mean, a speech, some type of promo cutting that he's champion. It's not about aesthetics, Romy One. You're thinking about pyro. You mentioned tunes. You mentioned all this other stuff. I'm not talking about just aesthetics. I'm talking about him cutting a promo, having some definition behind the character, and the definition of him being a champion. Warner Bros. Discovery made a deal with them to give $500,000 each episode. Yeah, that was I understand that. That's in the beginning stages. That was back in what, 2019? They should be pulling a little bit more than that 5 years later. Don't you agree? Let's pull a little bit more than that. Look at the top of names they signed. They got now Mercedes Moné. They got Will Ospreay. They got Okada. You got Edge. You got Swerve. They have signed very, very bigger names since debuting in AEW, which is 2019. Nameless, stop lying. Stop lying about what? I'm not making this up. This is all facts. Like I said, I ain't the only one that feel this way. You think I'm capping? No, that's totally not the case. I mean, like I said, it's not no lie. It's facts here. It should be marketed better. Their ratings have not been what they used to be. Like I said, I'm not the only one that feel this way regarding some situation. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, that's the way it is. I mean, once that still stands, AEW is one of their highest shows, so they're fine. AEW what? Dynamite or Collision? They got more than one show. You said AEW, that's plural. Which show in particular? Are you talking about Dynamite? I just want to make sure to clarify what do you mean. So yes, I'm going to ask a dumb question, figuratively. So that's the thing about that. Look here, you guys know AEW ratings are not that great. You know it's not. I know you don't want to believe it, but you know I'm telling the truth on that. Whether you think I'm lying or not, it doesn't even matter. Okay, Dynamite's the main show. Well, if they're fine, roll me one. You said Dynamite's the main show, they're fine. If they're so fine, why are they always taking shots at WWE almost every episode? Roll me one. And I don't want to hear it's entertainment or it's just it's great storyline. Come on, why are they always saying something about WWE? They're always taking a shot at WWE. They're always mentioning, referencing someone in WWE. If they were fine, they wouldn't be doing that. So it's not fine. You think it's fine, but we know it's not. And yes, hit the like button. You come into the locker room. Never knew we got into wrestling to care about ratings more than what happens in the ring. I mean, Romy one, isn't ratings about what happens in the ring? Ratings are based on what happens in the ring. You have a rating based on the show of what happens in the ring, whether it's in-ring promos or a wrestling match. So yes, it's all connected. Did you see the 90s with ECW, WCW, and WWF? I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm talking about today in 2024. Don't get off the subject. We're talking about today. I'm not talking about back then. ECW don't exist. They don't exist. They got bought out. WCW don't exist. They got bought out. AEW still exists. So I don't want to hear nothing about the 90s. I'm talking about 2024. I don't want to hear that. They took shots at each other. I don't care about that. I'm talking about today. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about the present. You're going to the past. I'm staying in the present. You're trying to deter from what I'm saying so you get distracted. We not TV people. Why do we care? I'll watch The Simpsons for ratings then. But you're not. You're over here at the locker room listening to me. So obviously you do care. You wouldn't be here, would you? Roll me one. Come on, boy. You're capping right now, man. So I gotta play this cap on you again.
That's cap. Totally cap.
So anyway, I'm not the one that feel this way about how Swerve is being booked as the champion. Just an interview there, and you guys know I pulled the interview, and I'm not doing to be doing it, but it makes sense, and I want you guys to hear what they're saying. Let's see. Eric Bischoff has something to say about Swerve being booked as champion. He has something to say about it. And he thinks that Swerve is not being booked right. And like I said, Eric Bischoff, I play him sometimes, but he has a point on this one. He definitely has a point on this one. So let's talk about it. We got him on there. I care about wrestling. You're a wrestling show. Exactly. You say you rather watch The Simpsons for ratings. We all care about wrestling. We all care about ratings. We all care about all of it. Every little part of wrestling we care about. And we care about ratings. So yes, I care about all the wrestling. Ratings included. In-ring promos, it all matters. It all matters. Man, you move like Joe Pesci in Heat sometimes. Joe Pesci, I never saw the whole movie Heat, so I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, we gonna get to what Eric Bischoff say on Swerve. So let's get to it. And he's gonna talk about how Swerve's been booked as champion.
It doesn't change the fact that it was a fucking horrible idea to show the footage. Yes, there was a reason for it. The reason for it is to lay out this fucking horrible angle that's not going to get anybody over it. I don't want to skip over the part because we're talking about the end of the show. The entire show was the shits. Some of it worse than others. I would refer to it as indie-rific, but that would be an insult to every indie promoter around the world. And I'm not going to blame the talent. Look, the talent, everybody in that roster, personal careers and represent their company, and that's what they should do. That's what, as a professional, if you don't do that, you get no respect from me, and probably won't get much for anybody else you ever worked for. So I'm not blaming the talent. The talent is taking advantage of an opportunity, probably in most cases the biggest opportunity they've ever had. And in other cases, the only opportunity left. And there's nothing wrong in the show. But the way the show was formatted, the insight into the inner workings of Tony Khan's creative mind is right there for us all to see. Starting with Swerve Strickland. And we're going to get back to that fucking parody of a parody that they called the main event, or the way they ended the show, I should say. Get back to that. So let's go back to Swerve Strickland. Wins the championship. Wins the title. Celebration. Everybody's excited for him, including me, by the way. And what do? They shit all over him in the opening segment by putting him into a match that doesn't fucking matter with a guy that doesn't matter.
Respectfully, it wasn't even the open segment.
Okay, it wasn't. It was the opening match.
No, but I'm just saying, why didn't they open the show? I mean, very rarely do I get on here and talk about current stuff, but why didn't they open the show with a Swerve promo? A big victory lap, a celebration. Tell us what we can expect. Someone interrupts him. There's a challenge. Maybe that's our main event for this weekend. That's sort of what we.
That's all I'm saying. Why couldn't he get a promo opening as the brand new champion? That's what Conrad Thompson and Eric Bischoff. I know some people have their, reservations about Eric Bischoff, but sometimes he does have a point. Same with Vince Russo. Now, am I the biggest fan of Vince and Eric Bischoff? No. I'm going off what they're stating. Why couldn't he get the world champ like that? Like I said, it's about marketing. That's all I'm saying. We go to Eric Bischoff, perfect man. Oh, Romy one. Come on, man. We got to look past that, man. We got to look past that. That was back in the 90s. Is he in the Fed? I know it looks like it. I know it looks like it, Romy one. You ain't right, man. You ain't right, man. Oh, man, you ain't right for saying that. He in the shit. Tell me you didn't just say that, man.
Tell me you did not just say that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying I'm the biggest Eric Bischoff or Russo fan. Some things I do agree. All of it, no, I don't. You said parody like the Warrior Hogan matches, and yes, you said. Oh, man. Hey, think that vignettes. He said, I'd rather listen to Russo, at least he helped talent. He did. And Russo also was responsible for kicking the Attitude Era off. He was the writer behind that. But other than that, though, that's all I'm saying. They made a good point, clear point right there in the beginning. Why wasn't Swerve in the beginning segment of the show? Same thing I was saying a couple minutes ago. With that being said, let's continue on.
We normally get, or to your point, we have him dominate somebody pretty early on. That didn't happen. Instead, we got the Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta Orange Cassidy segment in Seg 1. I think that probably should have been Swerve and set up a match. But him wrestling Kyle Fletcher in the second segment on the show, and the last match on the show is going to be for the New Japan World title. It's hard for me to.
It's even beyond that. You're talking about formatting the match and where the show should, where what should be. Swerve Strickland shouldn't have had a fucking match. We should still be in celebration mode. We should be in the mode of getting him over. Just because you put the title on him and you give him, that 15 minutes of spotlight and shine on a pay-per-view that probably 150,000 people watch, that's not getting him over.
No.
The bringing up New Japan. Who is the president of New Japan? I can't remember his name. Tanahashi, yesterday, social media, talked about how impressed he was at the rapid rate in which WWE is able to make stars.
That's an AEW partner saying that, by the way.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. And the reason for it is WWE and the creative behind WWE understands how to make a star. Tony Khan clearly doesn't. I agree with you, Tony.
I don't know about that.
No. You got to let me go. You can't interrupt me. I agree with you.
I don't know about that.
No. You got to let me go. You can't interrupt me. Just give me a second.
Okay.
If Tony Khan had a fucking clue, even if it was a passing clue, like he had it in his mind for a second and it left, and he can hold on to it and just think about it for 45 seconds. Strickland is in a unique opportunity to be a real babyface. You put the title on somebody because you want them to be the focus of your show. That's your A fucking story. And if your world champion is not your A story, then you have proven to the world that you do not know how to produce television or book wrestling. It's fucking 101. Get him over. 150,000 people, maybe, I don't know what the number's going to be, saw the pay-per-view. 800,000 on average people watch AEW.
Right.
Well, how about we smarten up the other 650,000 people in a way, not just smarten them up by telling them, oh, Swerve Strickland won a title. Yay! Yay, isn't this great? Yay, feel good moment. But we're going to kind of put that off to the side because we're going to focus over here on this story. Why do it? And you know what's going to happen? Here's the fucking crystal ball, all right? And why I think if I was Swerve Strickland right now, I'm almost hotter about this than I am about the bullshit at the end. If I'm Swerve Strickland right now or his agent, I'm on the phone going, hey, motherfucker, what are you doing to my career? You're giving me a moment and not allowing me to really get myself over as champion. You know what that means? He's going to end up dropping that title to the next bright, shiny object that comes along. And everybody's going to remember, well, Swerve Strickland has a shot, didn't move the needle, didn't last long. They're not building him.
Now, that's kind of similar to what I said. He needs to be remembered as a good AEW champion. And I think that is going to be the case if he ain't booked right. And that's exactly what Eric Bischoff's confirming in here in his interview on his podcast, 83 Weeks. EB's only highlights that gave Linda man the tongue. Oh man, you took it way back. I'm surprised Eric Bishop doesn't give Brutus Beefcake a job on the show. He gave him a lot of gives to WCW. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was okay having Jeff go to the ring, intoxicated, breast this man up. Well, he's a man. Yeah, you got a point. You're talking about TNA Turning Point 2011. You had a story with Brett at WCW after a screw job that buried him. EB, Eric Bischoff did some good things with Hogan. heel turn, and then went downhill like Lil Kim. Oh man, you crazy, Romy one. But yeah, that's what I mean. I just wanted him to have a good remembrance as AEW World Champion, not an afterthought. I mean, see, they do that with some champions. I just don't want Swerve to be part of that list. That being said, let's continue on.
They're building zero equity into Swerve Strickland because of what they did last night. And what they did last night can be corrected, but you know, some of it can't be. Because they were in that moment. They could have replayed. Here's what I would have done. I don't want to fucking hate fantasy booking and armchair quarterback booking. I'm talking about specifically an issue here that I think should have never happened. Recap, open it up. That pay-per-view. Yeah. Again, maybe 25% of the total audience that watches AEW actually buys a pay-per-view, which is, by the way, probably pretty good percentage. I think it speaks to the loyalty. I was on a show with Wise Choices last night with Bully Ray, and I think Bully Ray pointed out a good thing. One of the similarities that actually do exist between AEW and ECW is the fact that they each had very small but incredibly loyal audiences. And I agree with that. And I think the percentage of people that buy the pay-per-view for AEW versus the size of the audience, that percentage, relatively speaking, is respectable, if not fairly high. But nonetheless, there's 650,000 people on average that didn't even see it. They didn't get that moment. And yes, they covered it with clips in the show. Okay, that's like standard operating procedure. But a better approach, especially with Mike Mansouri, who's one of the best there is at this shit, that's on the AEW staff, is build me a mucker-fucking package. I didn't say mucker-fucking. I meant to say mucker-fudding. It's early. But build us tell us a story in a video package. Take us back to the very beginning of his life, wrestling life. Give us some footage. Take us back to his very first independent wrestling match. Show us something that shows us where he started. And you can do this in a 3 or 4 minute package that would have gotten him over more than anything Tony Khan will ever be able to think of.
I'm not even going to lie on this one. What he said, that is gospel. That is definitely an undisputed comment he said.
And that is undisputed.
Yeah, that's all Tony really had to do. Just highlight the man and acknowledge him. And even like Eric said, make him a baby face. But he got some good points. Let's see what else he has to say during this interview.
Get this kid over. I call him a kid. Get this man over, and create some emotion that people that didn't watch the pay-per-view can also experience. And even the ones that did watch the pay-per-view are going to experience it at a heightened level, in a more emotional way. Or, as they say in the wrestling business, get the guy over. Get people invested in him. But fucking no! They're going to skip right over all that, throw him in a match that means absolutely nothing. They did nothing for his career, and no one is even going to be remembered by noon today, so that they could make that bullshit that we saw at the end of the night, that parody of a parody that was so horribly executed, it's embarrassing to me. Having ever been in the industry, it represents an embarrassment. They shit all over Strickland. And here's the truth. They're too fucking stupid to even know they did it. That's the bad part. They don't even know they did it. Because they have no relationship whatsoever with wrestling creative. This is random shit. Sorry, did I lose you?
No, I just don't want to interrupt you.
Come on now. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry.
So that's Eric Bischoff talking about how Swerve is not being marketed right and how he did not get over. There was no proper build for him after winning the championship. No promo package, no celebration, no promo, no, even if he is a heel, get over fans, and he could easily turn to a babyface. So Eric Bischoff has a very good point. While Swerve could have been very well over as champion. That's the issue with that. Romy once said, I always want to ask Eric Bischoff, how did Ted Turner taste when he was asking for a shot? Oh, Lord, here. Lord have mercy. He said there's a reason we chant ECW more than ECW at events. Yeah, that's the whole fact there. People do be chanting ECW more. But, like I said, despite that, I know that Swerve also wanted to. He always had aspirations of becoming the AEW champion. I know that was the case, and he stated that too when he did an interview back with a few months ago. He did it with Mr. Chris Van Fleet, and he stated how he wants to be the first AEW Black World Champion. Now we'll go into that too. We're done with Eric Bischoff. I know guys are happy about that. And then we'll get to his interview here, and we'll see what he has to say regarding that. And then I'll react to that.
In the storyline arc, I wanted to, like, if I had the opportunity as a Hangman did, I would be the first Black AEW World Champion. It's just pointing out that, like, I could make history. That's where I see myself as a history maker, you know, and I truly believe I can. And now as the talk is getting louder weekly.
It is.
And like this past Wednesday, I didn't even say anything, and people are still shouting it even louder. I'm emoted and stuff, and reacted to someone like truth about me, kind of flipping the mirror back to me from Hangman. And like the cool thing about the inverse of that is like how me and Hangman started. It was me berating him for like 5 to 6 minutes. We started this whole thing, and now it's flipped back to like I'm being berated. I don't get a word in, but he's taking the opportunity to do this. Rather than Hangman was just like, man, I mean, like it was like a therapy session. Like I shouldn't say anything back. You know, I'm just gonna walk away. Me, I'm like, no, you're not saying anything. I'm taking this. You've been talking enough back at me. And in a sense of like when jumping Nana at the end of that, and I can't touch him because I'll get suspended. I'm as just helpless watching him hurt someone as he was helpless watching me go through his house. So there's a lot of like just flipping scenarios.
Yeah, the build-up's been incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Like, it really,
and that was just 6 minutes. It's like, well, how can we get as much feel in that 6 minutes?
Yeah, people are really invested in this.
Yeah.
And that's a result of the build-up being so good, so personal too.
Right. And there was a lot of vulnerability shown in these last 2 months.
Can you just imagine what the build-up would be if it was you versus MJF?
That's something for the fans to anticipate.
I mean, they're already thinking about it.
And I love that. I love that we have the talk, and people, it's not even, now it's not like, no way that can't happen, or like, it's not like out of like the realm of like believability. Now they're like, oh, I'm frothing at the mouth at this. Like, what could we really see from that?
This went from if Swerve becomes the champion to in the last few months to when Swerve becomes the champion.
Right. But I had to do that work to get that too. Like,
yeah.
I if you speak it out there, you have to deliver on it. You have to make people believe, and that's what comes to like just bringing good television, not being afraid to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Not everybody like there was like this transition in wrestling, and it went from the indies and international style to like coming onto American television, where people think everybody has to be like these strong men, everybody and women, everybody has to be two forces beating each other. Whoever falls first, they lose, and that's the winner. And I was like, that's okay, that's great performance, and we're gonna enjoy that, but who do we invest in? Where's the drama and suspense to that? And I feel like that's where my strength really came from, finding someone to really feel something for. Even if you like me, whether you hate me, hate my methods, or you think Hangman is whiny, or if he's like oh man, this is a real person being vulnerable. Like, all right, watch the character arc grow to like now this dominant force that found himself and ignited that fire to like the guy that like who was like so confident in the beginning, so well spoken. He found who he is too, and he's just beating down this guy. So now it's like flipped upside down. Other way, like, oh man, I might have bitten off more than I could chew. Or with Texas Deathmatch, he hasn't lost any of these. Oh, now he's not wearing the butterfly jeans anymore. He's not wearing the stars, and like he's not wearing top buns and stuff like that. No, he's hair down, wet hair, like frothing at the mouth, dark leather, dark t-shirts. He's back. This is like Ghost Rider I'm dealing with now. And now like I'm a little like, oh snap, he's got momentum. It's like we watch it every day in football. Yep. Like, oh, the momentum shift is happening. Oh, turnover. Oh, fumble. Oh, they're gaining momentum back. We were leading by 12. Now we're only up by 2.
Yeah.
Like that's what we pay for. But that's what since the dawn of time, that's what we've been watching. And we've been leaning away from that just to give off good performances, but you can do both. And I feel like my specialty is just giving the story in that arc.
It's so good, and the payoff for this is going to be incredible. I can't wait for it.
Oh yeah, and that's all the reason to keep watching, and hopefully ratings, we increase that, we increase ticket sales, and hopefully that really does well for our business industry-wide, because there's not an African-American really in this position that I am right now, industry-wide doing that, at this level, I would say.
Yeah, I guess Bobby Lash is the only other person I can think of.
Really.
Yeah.
But like, he's not getting singles matches on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And like, shout out Bobby Lashley, good friend of mine. Like, I want to see him do more. I want to see more from Tez and Dawkins. Shout out Carmelo Hayes, who's doing it. Hopefully gets the opportunity to do that on the main roster too. His time is coming, but like, and it's a support from everybody in the industry, like African Americans, performers, like everywhere. Like John Gresham, shout out to him. Moose, shout out like Jade, like she gets an opportunity. Bianca, been doing it for the last 2 years. Shout out her, killing it. Like as far as like right now in this moment at the age, I'm like the only one.
Yeah.
At this high level with between AEW and WWE, I'm it.
Yeah.
And I take that position really seriously.
Moose and Impact.
Yeah.
All right, that's part one of that. Now that was Swerve on Chris Van Fleet talking about he wanted to become the first AEW champion. And as you see, he mentioned everybody from the Street Profits to Jay Cargill to Bianca to Moose to Bobby Lashley and many, many others. So yeah, he definitely takes it seriously. Like I said, he always wanted to become the AEW champ that he is now. So you guys got to say. Romy once said, Swerve, his talent gets him over. I love the man before WWE. And he will ace his champion. He'll still have the folks doing the dance. Now, since you said that, Romy one, you watched him on independent scene? He's doing independent scene, I believe. Did he always have that swag like he has now, even back in the early NXT days, as I said, Swerve Scott? I never watched him independent. You also said Swerve vs. Ospreay in London will tear the house down. I heard that's a rumored match. Nameless said, I hope he loses on Dynamite this week. What you don't like Swerve you're not a fan of Swerve at all? You're not a fan of Swerve Strickland, or maybe you're just not a fan of AEW. I don't know. You say you need to get laid, bro. Hit him. Romy once said Ron Simmons and Tony Atlas, the first African American tag team champions. Well, I'm glad we're getting more African American champions. So am I. Like I said, we got Swerve as the AEW World Champion. We got Trick Williams as the NXT champion. We got that. We got Moose as he mentioned, the Moose is the TNA World Champion. We got it. And Willow Nightingale is the TBS champion. Won the same night Swerve won his title. Not Ron Simmons, I mean Rocky Johnson. Yeah, I missed up there. Yeah, that's what I figured that you meant. You said he had swag since day one. Yeah, okay, that's what I kind of figured. he always had that swag. When I saw him in NXT, I never knew, but yeah, Swerve just a guy that has it, and I hope and I hope they just book him right as champion. Now I know also he talked about his times in NXT when he was in NXT. He's on the Triple H and Shawn Michaels, so he talks about that as well. And let's see what he had to say about that. And this will be the last interview that I pull up. But this is Swerve Strickland on the same show, Chris Van Fleet. This part he talks about his times on being in NXT. So let's see. Oh, I got a question before we get this interview. Swerve, when you let him do his thing, he's quality. Definitely quality. That's why I was mad when WWE released him. Who do you think is defeating Cody Rhodes for the championship? That's a good question. DD. That's a definitely good question. Like Romy once said, Gunther, I see one person. I could also say maybe a I don't know, maybe someone like I would say Braun Breaker, but he's on Raw now. Carmelo Hayes has potential, but he's not ready. But I would say someone like a Gunther. Bobby Lashley, I wouldn't mind beating him for the title. Another guy I like for the title, to defeat Cody Rhodes. I would say too, believe it or not, I wouldn't mind if Finn Balor beats him for the title. Finn Balor's talented too. Maybe Finn Balor. Solo's not ready yet. He can be. Randy Orton, maybe. Randy Orton, I would like to beat him. They got history. Randy was over Cody. Cody was under Randy and Legacy. I want Kevin Owens, I would say no. Randy Orton, I would like to see. Randy Orton and Gunther, and maybe Finn Balor, guys like that. Guys who hasn't had a world title in years, or a first-time champion who's ready. Those three names I would say. Gunther, Finn Balor maybe, and like I said before, Randy Orton. I would like Randy Orton to get another run, before he retires. Because Randy Orton did get drafted to SmackDown. Well, with that being said, I'm going to we're going to get to the interview. This part he talks about NXT, and I'm talking about Swerve Strickland on Chris Van Fleet. So let's get into it.
Is there something you learned from Shawn Michaels in NXT that you've carried with you to be the character you are now?
I would have like hour-long tape studies with him. Like, close the door, boom, it's me and him watching old indie stuff.
Wow.
He wanted to see like, okay, what got you here? What made us sign you? Show me that. Because like, you're doing well right now, and like I see what you're doing, but I want to know what got you here. What made you be the signing? And so we went back to that. He's like, we watched like some old PCW matches. We watched some Defy stuff, and he was just like watching. He was like, boom. He was like more like analyzing. He was like really paying attention to like my pacing and how I move, and then who I was. And then he was like, I see what kind of performer you are. We're not really putting you in a position to be the true performer you are. Now I see it. And that's where he started like having creative meetings with Triple H when they were like writing TV for the next week or so. It was like, then he would be texting me on the side like, all right, Trips wants to see this out of you. This come to match with Bronson Reed. I was like, oh, that's it? I can do that. And then next thing you know, smash, boom, boom, boom. We have the match, come to the back. Sean's like taking me aside, like, that's what I'm talking about. Motherfuckers. And I was like, we were like, yeah. And I'm like,
how do you even get in a position like that? Yeah. Like, he's not doing tape study with everybody.
So it was that was a process of like frustration. It came from frustration, like a lot of those like moments. Matt Bloom brought me into the office with Canyon at the time, and I was getting a promotion. I was like going up in pay and stuff, but like earlier in that week, here's the frustrating parts of this. Like, so when WWE and NXT is like promoting this and doing this and this and that and that, and like you're tweeting, supporting everything, like, oh, this is coming to the Peacock. Yeah, we're doing this. Tweet it. Hey, this is the new show coming out. Yada yada yada. And you have this promoted, tweet it, yada yada yada, mass tweets and stuff like that. But then like when you like, they'll say nothing, whatever, and like, okay, you're doing your job. But when you say something like unappreciated tweet, no context, you just tweet unappreciated.
Yeah.
They call you and like, hey man, see you tweet out unappreciated. What's that all about? But you miss all the other stuff that I did. You didn't see anything about me, like that 2-minute promo video I put out. Nobody's like mentioned, but you'll see that though. So that was one of the things I brought up in the meeting. I was like, well, exactly what I said. I feel unappreciated. I feel like I can do more, and I think y'all know that I can do more. Why not, like and Canyon was right there, the guy who can like hire me and fire me at any point. And I was like, well, yeah, I have a year left here on my contract, and like I would love to make an important impact on that time.
Yeah,
you know, because I have options. I can go anywhere. And that's like me like laying that out to him. I was like, oh, I want to be in Shawn Michaels' class. He's like, well, he's not really having a class right now. He's doing this. He's going to write TV, so he's not really hands-on with them. I'm like, well, can I like do like watch tape with him or something? Like, office is right over there. I'm like, okay. And then went over. Like, hey, Shawn, can I have like time with you? He's like, yeah, absolutely. Here's my email. Send me 3 matches. We'll watch them.
Wow.
I was like, and then that's the crazy thing about a system like that. It's like, oh, I could have just went to his office instead of having to do these mind games of like, let me change my hair, let me do this, let me say some wild stuff, or like, let me do this, I'm gonna get their attention. Or you could just go knock on his door, who's like right there. You see, we walk past it every day and stuff like that. And that's like this wild, like it can all be so simple.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already performing well. Like, if I understand, like, you got to pick your spots too, and like you got to earn the equity in order to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And by that time, I was already doing like the NXT, like the takeovers and like the Worlds Collides. I was already being on everything in weekly TV, but I always told Triple H at the time, I was like, my first 2 months there, I was like, hey, thank you, I appreciate everything that you're giving me, and I'm happy to be here. What can I do to be one of your guys? And 3 months later, hey, I appreciate everything, thank you. Like, this has been awesome experience. Appreciate you having me here. What do I have to do to be one of those guys? 3 months after that, like a year now, I'm like, what's stopping me from you making me one of your guys? Now it's like, I'm putting the pressure on him, because like now the equity has grown. Now he knows I'm serious. I know what I have to offer and stuff like that. And that may be like, I don't know, that may be like, and it could be taken as a disrespectful, like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not seeing me here. But that's those risks I gotta take, you know, like, give me the chance to fail.
Peacock is the
All right, that is the second part of the interview with Swerve Strickland on Chris Van Fleet. This was several months ago. He was talking about his time at NXT. He was also talking about as well how he had to put pressure on Triple H to make him one of his guys. He really wanted to be one of part of Triple H's guys, but unfortunately did not work out that way. So definitely something to look into. So hopefully it does. I know Swerve is going to do his thing regardless. I know he likes being under Triple H. I know he likes working with him. I know he's doing his best to get there. But now, you know, he had to move on, do other things, and now he's the AEW World Champion. He went from being Swerve Scott, being to this character, and then he slowly but surely came up, and, you know, he became the champion that he is now, and that is currently the AEW World Champion. That's what he is right now. You know, see what you guys have to say regarding this. Maybe they give us a curveball and give it to The Rock. I highly doubt that will happen. You said a bit of cheating so we keep Cody stay strong and let the trip to Story Week announce Brock as a new property. Not a bad idea. Romeo One also loves to see Swerve in Japan having banger matches. I heard I know he did do Japan 2022. I don't know if he'll ever go back to Japan. Also getting to see him LL had a match in Mystico. That could be interesting too. He will be a great champion. He deserves it. Yes, he absolutely does. Swerve versus Nato. I need that match. Nameless say don't deserve the title. Okay, Nameless, you're not a fan of Swerve, obviously. Why don't you like Swerve Strickland, Nameless? What's your issue with Swerve? You never said what's your issue with Swerve. You just said that he don't deserve the title, and I hope he loses next week on Dynamite. What's your issue with Swerve? What don't you like about him particularly? Because you still haven't answered that question I asked you earlier. What's your deal with Swerve? Nameless was adopted. Yeah, I just want to know, why don't you like Swerve? What's your deal? Nameless? Why you got so much negative stuff to say about Swerve? I just want to know, why don't you like him? You know. But anyway, question about it is, how long is Swerve going to be AEW World Champion? Could he have a good long run? Could it be 6 months? Could it be a year? Could it be a short run, 3 months, transitional championship run, or 3-4 months? How long can he be champion? How long is this run going to be with AEW champion with Swerve Strickland holding his belt? Holding it down for the AEW, because he's going to be the champ. He's going to represent the company. How long can he have this championship? Now, I would like him to have it on for a while and have a very good run and have some very good feuds. Is that too much to ask? I would love to see that. And I think he definitely has what it takes. He has what it takes to become a very good champion. So I would like to see what's the deal with Swerve winning. Not only winning, but what's he gonna do, to keep his belt for a good period of time. What will Swerve do? But like I said, it could be a good minute, could be a short minute. We don't know. But I would love to see what's the future hold for him as champion. Because I do not want to have a transitional championship run. We know Samoa Joe was a transitional champion before him because they had nobody else in line to win the title because MJF's injury. But I don't want him to have a run like that. I want him to have a much longer run as AEW World Champion because he does deserve it. The man is talented, no doubt about it. He's kind of like, he got everybody want to walk with Elias type.
For everybody here tonight, who wants to walk with Elias?
Yeah, but we ain't got walks with Elias. We got Who's House. So, yeah, I'm very, very intrigued what's going to be the next move for Yeah, so like I said, I just wish it was in a bigger crowd, bigger arena, all of that. But I would like for him to hold it at least 6 months, give him a very decent run, and those don't botch his run. And even when he lose, we don't want to see no more of those Kofi Kingston losing to A-Sex to Brock Lesnar type of championship runs in it, if you know what I mean. We don't want to see that either. I would like to have had a belt for quite an amount of time and a respectable run. To do that, it'd be good, None of this politician stuff. No politician run.
Spoken and spun like a true politician.
Yeah, none of that. So let's see what you guys think of that. Romy once said that I don't know, but hopes a long time. Yeah, I hope so too. He has everything. He literally does. He said hope Strickland hold the championship for a very long time. Yeah, like I said, at least 6 months to a year. Like I said, I'm very, very excited that he won the belt. You know, not just him, Trick Williams win the NXT title too. But I didn't want to talk about him too much. I wanted to focus on Swerve. Swerve has history. He's been on independent scene. As Romy once said, he watched him on there. Of course, he started getting jump start with NXT. Isaiah Swerve Scott win the NXT North American title. Also, he helped with the leader of the stable Hit Row, even though it ain't been the same since he left. But he was the leader of that stable. We remember him being leader of this stable. He was leader of that, and he went to being on his own. And now he's the AEW World Champion. So salute to Swerve, much deserved of this win. Definitely. Romy once said, Lee Johnson and ROH is unreal, gives me early Swerve vibes. Lee Johnson, isn't that the guy that's married to Julia Hart? I heard that name before. I think that's the guy that's married to Julia Hart. Lee Johnson missed a Swerve and Carmelo. I got to check that out. If that's the case, Lee Johnson is indeed, if he's indeed a little bit of Carmelo, who's talented, and a little bit of Swerve, who's definitely talented, and I want to say that is definitely awesome. Yeah, that's what's up. So I would like to see that. And if he really is to mix the both, then he would really be that damn good.
Because I am that damn good.
So I would like to see what the mix is with that. Definitely. He'll be a star. It's inevitable. Yeah, they need to get him out of ROH, put him in a good spot. I would like to see what the next thing is. I gotta look more to the thing. No, probably like 2 weeks first. He's a horrible wrestler. Hold the AEW back. You guys listen to this. Oh man. You think he's a horrible wrestler? What's so horrible about him? What you saying right now? I think he's got pure hatred for Swerve. He's a hater. And I think what you're saying right now is I think it's nonsense that you're talking. Oh man, that's definitely cap what you saying right now.
That's cap. Totally cap.
He is a horrible wrestler. How's he horrible? How is he a horrible wrestler? How is he hold the AEW back? You rather see Samoa Joe the champion or just anybody because you just have a pure hatred for Swerve Strickland? Romy wants that building Lee good up at ROH. He's cooking. They doing him right. All right, well, I'm gonna look more into Lee Johnson, see what else they do with him in the near future. Definitely, guys. But we talked about Swerve Strickland winning the title. Talked about how booking is affected, and we heard from Eric Bischoff. The recap of Bischoff. Also heard Swerve Strickland on Chris Van Fleet months prior, being the first, wants to be the first AEW World Champion. Then his issues with NXT while being under Shawn Michaels and also Triple H. So that's the recap. That's what we discussed about Swerve Strickland. And the question is, can Swerve change the wrestling industry? And I believe he can if it's done right. That's the whole thing about it. I think he can make a game changer, change the whole thing around the landscape. AEW's got to do things right. The infantry and ROH are good. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look at ROH. I'm not a big fan of ROH. I ain't what good like it used to be before Tony Khan purchased it. But yeah, guys, that's what I covered. Can Swerve change the wrestling industry? The main focus today was a focus on Swerve Strickland, the brand new AEW World Champion. You guys let me know what you think of him becoming world champion. Is he have the right proper booking or the improper booking? and see how long his title run's gonna be. Will he be a transitional champion or long-term champion? And what great feuds will he be in as AEW World Champion? You guys let me know. Soon to videos will pop up. First one will be when Timeless had all smoke for all WWE. Second video is, does Vince McMahon have enough evidence to walk away? Thank you all for coming out tonight. Until then, it is OUT.